Texas and Oklahoma have joined the SEC, but not until 2025. Find out more in this video. So, Texas and Oklahoma, two Big 12 teams that will no longer be in the Big 12 past 2025. Why is that? That's because 14 SEC presidents have unanimously 14 SEC presidents have unanimously extended invitations to them last week, and Texas and Oklahoma have accepted these invitations, which means that Texas and Oklahoma would join the SEC in July 1st, 2025. And that's when the Big 12 deal that they're currently in right now, the Big 12 network deal that they're in right now, will expire on June 30th, 2025. So July 21st, 2025 is when we would have the start of what possibly can be a super conference that the SEC seems to be building. Because let's not forget, the SEC already has teams like Florida, Georgia, LSU, Alabama, Auburn, and Texas A&M. Texas A&M used to be in the Big 12. Arkansas used to be in the Big 12. These two teams left and went to go to These two teams left and went to go join the SEC, and now they have their old compatriots, joining in to the SEC. Now, what does this mean for Texas and Oklahoma? Well, it means a bigger opportunity because this means that they'll actually have a network, because the Big 12, even though I did say the Big 12 network, the Big 12 network the Big 12 doesn't have a network. The SEC has the SEC network, the Big 10 has the Big 10 network. So this is going to be an opportunity to have more people watch your games from TV instead of having just most of the people come watch the games at the stadium. This also means a lot more, people can, get involved in Texas that may not have been because they weren't able to watch most of Texas and Oklahoma games. So this is an opportunity to increase your fan base. Texas and Oklahoma already have a big fan base, so this is going to be an opportunity to expand. They already have a decent sized stadium, so this is going to be a big opportunity when it comes to that. Now, if Texas and Oklahoma were to quit the Big 12 right now, they would have to pay $85 million, which would be a terrible thing for them because that would go into the recruitment process, their schools, like the academics, and that would go into a lot of things. So they really don't have the time or the money right now to afford to do that. That is why they are waiting until July 1st. That's why they are waiting until July 1st, 2025 to join the SEC and join up with the teams of Alabama, Georgia, and Florida. Now, also, there's actually another thing that would actually help these two teams join the SEC quicker, and that is if the Big 12 were to be no more by the end of the season. Now, when it comes to the Big 12 this season, obviously it's going to be between Texas and Oklahoma to see who wins the Big 12 championship game. But is it really that much of a difference? We already know Oklahoma's going to make it because Texas really in the past few years haven't been competitive that much in the last few years. But maybe Texas can come back and challenge Oklahoma this year. The only other good teams that they got in there, they got Oklahoma State, they got Baylor, they got TCU. Who else they got? They got Kansas. That's really it. They have Houston. Well, actually no, they don't have Houston, and they don't have Texas Tech. I don't think they have Texas Tech. So I'm not very sure when it comes to this. So now they would move into a conference where this could be what the conference looks like coming in 2025. In the East, you would have the Georgia Bulldogs, you would have the Florida Gators, you would have the Missouri Tigers, you would have Kentucky, you would have Tennessee, you would have South Carolina, you would have Vanderbilt, and you would have Texas. I think Texas would be perfect to put in the East because there's a rivalry game in that when it comes to Texas versus Florida. Obviously, if you guys don't remember, I think it was Tim Tebow that beat Texas in the national championship game in 2008 to get to win that last national championship for Florida. So that's a rivalry game in there. And plus, we have an opportunity to see Texas versus Georgia, which is definitely going to be another good game. And then the other reason why I think Texas would be perfect for the East is just because putting Oklahoma in the West would mean so many huge games for Oklahoma in order for them to get to the college football playoffs. They would have to go up against Alabama in the West. They would have to go up against Texas A&M in the West. They would have to go up against Auburn in the West. They would have to go up against Ole Miss in the West. They would have to go up against LSU in the West. And the other two teams they would have to go up against is The other two teams they would have to go up against is Arkansas and Mississippi State. Obviously, Arkansas and Texas A&M used to be in the Big 12, so that'd be rivalry games for them. Now, do I honestly think this is a good move for Texas A&M and Oklahoma? Obviously, it is. But what does this mean really for, when it comes to the SEC? The SEC is going to get a bigger fan base. They're going to get more money going to this. They're basically creating a super conference. Trust me, if the SEC were to try and create a super conference right now, they had billions of dollars. They try to get Ohio State. They would try to get Penn State. They would try to get all these schools in the SEC and just create one super conference. They hope to have 20 teams in a conference. 20 teams in one conference. That's going to be a super competitive conference. That means 10 teams in the East and the West. Right now they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, actually they have 7. They would have 8 if they were to add Texas and Oklahoma into this. So they're basically 2 away from creating the super conference that they wanted to talk about, because right now in 2025 they would have 16 teams. They would have 16 teams. So they would be missing 2 in each, which would be 4 in total. So yes, they are missing 4 teams in total, 2 in each division, from being able to compete and complete the super conference that they wanted to do. But like I said, Texas A&M got invited by the SEC. They accept the invitations. They'll be joining on July 1st, 2025. And this is going to be a big thing for both of these schools. It's going to create a lot more people watching these games. It's going to create a lot more excitement because you have some rivalry games. You have games that you would normally see in the college football playoffs now happening in the regular season. And this is just going to mean the SEC is going to be a lot tougher to win, which is really, really exciting, because you want to see divisions, you want to see conferences not so easy to win. That's what creates some more excitement, because if it's tougher to win, that just means they're going to play harder, and that's the way it's going to have to be. Because really, if these two teams go into SEC in 2025, there's only one team I say right now that they're going to really have to worry about, but it really depends on how long Nick Saban actually stays in the Alabama job. And that is going to be obviously Alabama, because Alabama's recruiting process and Alabama's team, they never have a bad team. They never have a bad team, and they never have a bad recruitment process, because they get some of the best recruitments, along with Texas, along with Oklahoma. This is also going to be big when it comes to the recruitment process, because now a lot of the people that play in Texas or play in the Texas high schools, they will be able to stay in state and go and play in the best conference in college football. Oklahoma will be able to keep their players in Oklahoma. Texas will be able to keep their players in Texas, because a lot of the players in Texas and Oklahoma, they leave because they're not in a big conference. They don't have a network, so they go to SEC and the Big Ten, where they both have networks to be able to play on national TV. But now that Oklahoma and Texas are in the SEC, this is going to be a big opportunity. This is going to be a good opportunity for some Texas talents and for some Oklahoma talents to stay in state and play against the very best teams. Like I said, against Georgia, against the Florida Gators, against Alabama, against LSU Tigers, and against Texas A&M. But I mean, in terms of this whole deal, this is just one big thing happening in college football right now. There's a big thing happening in college football right now before the season begins, and it's not gonna happen for another 4 years. But trust me, guys, when this happens, there's a good possibility SEC will have more teams coming in. And what does this also mean for the Big 12? Well, this also means the Big 12 are going to have to add 2 new teams to replace these 2 big schools. So what are the likely candidates? Well, one of the likely candidates that I'd like to see in the Big 12 is going to be UCF, who right now I think play in the AAC. I'm not sure which really division that or conference that the UCF Knights play for. But UCF is always really trying to be competitive. They want to be in competitive conference. So if the Big 12 were to add them in there, I know they're like East Coast, and the Big 12 was mostly like middle of the country, but that'll be a very good team to add some competitiveness. And UCF wants to prove themselves, so why not add the UCF Knights into this? But in terms of this whole video, I'm very excited for this to happen when it comes in 2025. And I just want to say this: Oklahoma and Texas, you better be prepared to lose to the Florida Gators, because we're not going to let you win that very easily. But anyway, guys, I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Please just smash the like button. I'll be posting more sports content for you guys to see in the coming days. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell notification so you know my videos go live. But anyway, guys, I will see you guys all later. Peace.